Hi everybody, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. I just wanted to get on here real quick and I'm actually seeking some advice for a junk journal that I created using an old Reader's Digest book. First I'll show you the one that turned out good. This is actually going to be my personal one because this is one of the first altered books that I created that actually turned out decent. So I wanted to keep this for myself. I actually was going to start this January 1, but I really don't have a whole lot to document right now. So I'm just kind of saving it. Not quite sure how I want to use it yet. If I want to use it to write in, if I want to use it for memory keeping, or both. I'm just not entirely sure. I do have other albums that I've got 12 by 12 albums for each one of my children who are now adults. I have a journal that I'm working on. It's more like a smash book that I bought, that I purchased from Diane H here on YouTube. It's beautiful. I'll show that to you sometime. And that I am using specifically for my time with my grandson for memory keeping and pictures. And then, of course, I've used in the past my Happy Planner to do some documenting. And I've got a ton of other planners. So, I'm not quite sure how I want to utilize this yet. If I want this to be more of a diary, I'm just not quite sure. So I haven't dove into using it yet. But let's take a look. This is the cover. I just love it. It's so pretty. This is a 1966 version of a Reader's Digest book. I can't think of the name of it right now. I did keep the spine. This is a completely altered spine. I did keep the spine so that I could remember and write that down inside the book, which I have to do yet before I lose that and it disappears in my stash. I used a variety of paper, copy paper, scrapbook paper, music paper. The spine is completely redone. I actually used a cereal box and lined it with different types of paper, and then once I adhered it to the actual front and back cover, before I added the signatures in it, I actually took some modeling paste and some acrylic paints, some acrylic metallic paints. I just kind of sponged it on to create this texture. And I just kept doing it over and over and over again so that I could get like this, I don't know. It's just a kind of a bumpy little texture. I love it. It's so pretty. The camera doesn't do it justice. And then this tassel I found in my stash for my mom's sewing stuff. And then this is a Tim Holtz fastener. So let's get right into it. The very first inside cover, it's all lined with scrapbook paper. There's 5 signatures. So back to the inside cover, I had just created a pocket. It's not a very roomy pocket, so really you only have room for just a couple of journaling cards. I might make this, this book belongs to type thing and put that in here. I did coffee dye many of the papers and journaling cards, not all, because I wanted a variety. And then here I just took some punches and just punched out some little hearts. So the first page is just a coffee dyed copy paper page. The second page is kind of a, marbled scrapbook paper. It's not double-sided, so the other page does have white. I did want a lot of clean white pages in here just because I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do. I'm not going to do any art journaling in here. That I know because I don't have the correct paper for that in here, but you never know what could happen. So I could probably use the back side of this for some art journaling. So we'll just flip through this really quick. Here we've got some coffee dyed, just regular loose leaf paper. And they're all different sizes. The only sheets that are full sheets are the copy paper sheets. So here's another scrapbook. As you can see, I was trying to fold it. I'm not sure quite what I want to do with this one. This one is double-sided, so it just has polka dots. I don't know if I mentioned that orange is my favorite color, so there is quite a bit of different colors of yellows and oranges in here. We've got some music paper. I absolutely love music. And then here I created a little pocket, and inside this pocket so far I just have an envelope. I'm not sure if I made this envelope or if this was gifted to me. It's been so long, but I found it in my stash from, gosh, my days of rubber stamping and scrapbooking. So we'll just kind of go through here. So there's all different kinds of pages, 5 signatures. I'd have to count to see how many pages are in each signature. And I can do that at the end. So there we go. Again, it's pretty plain. It's not completely dressed yet, but I'm working on it. I think that's part of the reason why I haven't started it, is because I feel like I wanted to, decorate it more, but maybe I should just do that as I go along. Let me know what you guys think down below. Please leave a comment and let me know. Here's some graph paper that I coffee dyed. And then here's a piece of scrapbook paper where I created a little pocket. And inside this pocket, I have a couple tags that I created. So I used a rubber stamp from Close to My Heart. It's just a little tag stamp. I've had it forever, like 20 some years. Back in the day, I used to be Close to My Heart consultant. And so I did, distress this a little bit with some inks. I think this paper may have been coffee dyed. I can't remember. And then I just add a little bit of twine on it, or hemp string. Here's some graph scraps. These must be the scraps that I used. Again, this is another stamp, a tag stamp that I used from Close to My Heart, which I'm sure it's discontinued by now because it's super old. It's the old wood mounted one. So we'll just get through this really quick. I love this. This is super pretty. Again, here's some more paper. It's pretty plain. I don't know if you could see this or not, though, when I coffee dyed this, because the paper was, had blue ink. It kind of left some green stain, which is kind of cool. Here I did a little belly band. Here is where I did the very little bit of embellishing. Just took some punched out images. And just created like a little tuck spot here. So let's just get through here. Again, this is pretty blank. So I don't know if you want me to go through all of it. Here's another little tuck spot I did. I created this little pocket using some of the book page. Inside this is another little tag that I stamped, put graph paper on the back so I could use it as a journaling spot. And then here's another pocket, and then if you lift this up, there's a spot here for some journaling. And then I just took some of the extra scrapbook papers and made a little punch, flower punch. So I'm going to skip through all of this because it's just blank paper until I get to something that I may have decorated. Again, most of it is coffee dyed. This paper is kind of cool. Graph paper. So it's pretty plain. I've heard people call this an undressed journal. So I guess I'll be dressing it myself. I do have an Etsy shop. I have one journal on there right now, but I don't have it priced very well. So until I'm not quite ready, I want to do a big release at some point and put all of my journals on there. Again, here's that paper. So you kind of get the idea. It's pretty plain and basic. Here's another little spot that I did. Again, where I did the same type of thing. I did a little flip spot. Just added some punches. So I wanted to keep it plain, but pretty, So, and then in the back here, I just created another little pocket with another journaling card, a larger one, or a photo mat. So that's that one. Now, the one that I need help with is this one. Again, I love it. This is, again, an altered Reader's Digest book from like 1967, the year I was born. But as you can see, the spine, I did the same type of effect. I used pinks. I was trying to go for like a vintage type of look. I didn't really want to make this a baby book, but I did want to make it kind of feminine. I don't have a tassel on here yet because I don't feel like the spine is done. As you can see, the spine is cracking. And, you know, the only reason why I use this book is because I loved the covers, but the spine was completely falling apart. So I did manage to do this one first, and I did a pretty good job on this one, I feel. It lays flat. It's not cracking in the spine, and it's held together pretty good. This one, on the other hand, it feels the same way. It feels pretty sturdy, but it's definitely a lot tighter when you go to open it. And I did crack the paper. And the spine here. So let me know, all of you junk journal gurus out there, let me know how you would fix that. I thought about putting some seam binding or some lace to cover it up because, like I said, I do feel like it's a pretty durable book. I cleaned it really good, and then I distressed the edges just to make it look a little bit more vintagey. And in this one, I did the same types of papers. Oops, did I have that upside down? Nope, I had it right. In this one, I did the same types of papers, but I used pinks. So again, same thing. Only, like I said, I used pink paper, and I did a couple of different little folds. Like this is a fold out. Let's see here. So very basic. I did throw in a little bit of lavender. If you can see that or not. But basically, oh, and this one does have like a little doily in here somewhere. I just saw it. Ah. Okay, I swear I saw a doily. But anyways, I'm not going to flip through this completely because it's, like I said, it's pretty much the same except for a couple little different papers and whatnots and a different fold-out page. A few different fold-out pages. But the same concept again. In the back, I have a little pocket. And I haven't decorated this at all because I want to fix, this spine looks fine. The back spine looks fine. But the inside front, you can see it's cracked. And then the outside. So I would appreciate any tips or ideas on how I can fix this. I'm thinking obviously now I can't sell this one in my Etsy shop unless it took me a long time to create this book. I put my heart and soul into it. And again, 5 signatures. I'm just not happy with the spine. And so before I add the tassel or do anything more to it, I just kind of wanted to get some helpful tips. Hopefully you guys can help me out. I would really, really appreciate any tips that you might have. And then another fun one that I did, this isn't an altered book. This is just I think I used a, hamburger helper box and then just some scrapbook paper. And this is the very first junk journal that I ever created. And I was so proud of it. I created this last summer that I took it up north to our family cottage. And one of my little nieces was like, hey, why don't we all write in that? And I'm like, what a great idea. So this is now our 2017 to 2018 family junk journal for the cabin up north. I thought that was a really cool idea. So I'll just kind of give you a little bit of glimpse. This, like I said, it's not the greatest. And it was made out of an altered box. So it's not hardcover at all, which I kind of actually prefer. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. And I did put this little thing on there because you'll see. One of the family members wrote it upside down. So I had a little intro sticky note on here telling people when they came up to the cabin what kind of my plan was for it. And mostly all of the teenagers wrote in it. My sister did a couple entries, but excuse me. Mostly it was just family mostly just the younger teeny boppers that actually wrote in it and colored in it, and me. But I'm hoping that will expand next year and that more people will be interested. But basically I just wrote a little post-it note on here, which I don't have on here anymore, that said, family, let's make some memories. Please feel free to add pictures, drawings, writings, whatever you want in this journal. And then it's actually meant to be kept up at the cabin. But I brought it home at the end of the season so that I could embellish it a little bit more. And in this one, I did a little bit of mixed media as well. So, and then I asked everyone to sign their name and the date, just so we could kind of document, because 20 years from now, when the cabin is, in the hands of our grandchildren and great grandchildren, I want them to be able to look at this and laugh and see how silly we all were and all the weird things we did and drew. And I've got a family of some pretty talented artists and others that, just do some scribbles. But here I did a little pocket and some journaling cards, and people wrote some pretty funny stuff about their trip. I have family that is all over the country, so my brother and I are the closest to the cabin. We're about 3 hours away, where everybody else is more like 10, 15 hours away. So here my niece drew a little mandala. She did such a good job. I love it. So here I just threw in some stationery. I Mod Podge some of my Auntie Lila, who passed away many, many years ago. I went walking over to her cabin, which is right next door to ours. And in the fall, I picked up some leaves and I just Mod Podged them in there. And they're starting to crack and fall out. So let me know if you know of a way that I could seal these in there better. I was thinking ironing on wax paper, but I don't know if that's a good idea. So again, really cute idea. I thought this was a great idea. There are some pictures in here of the kids. There's a little pocket. We all love to, or most of us love to fish, so that you're going to see a lot of fishing photos. Yeah. And again, water skiing and just the fun of water sports and all of that. And, here are just some fun little pockets that I added. Like I said, I want to embellish it more, and I did bring it up later in the season. But I'm hoping next year people will fill it more with pictures and so forth. I don't think people knew what to do. So I want to make sure that, I've got some journaling cards in the pocket so that they can write on there if they run out of room. But there's plenty of room. So we didn't do we made a dent in it, but we didn't make a very big dent. Obviously, this is my page, my cute little grandson. He's so stinking cute. And my kids, we were fishing. We caught a lot of fish last summer. It was great. And here's a little picture of the cabin. You're outside of one of the cabins anyways. So yeah, just a fun thing that I thought, a lot of times people don't know what to do with their journals, and I thought this was a great idea to make it like at a family event. So this is going back up to the cabin in the spring. I'm going to hopefully add some more decor to it and add a permanent note in the beginning. And we'll see what happens. So just thought I would share. As you can see here, there's a little bubble in the paper. So again, not the best, but the next one that I make up there will definitely be a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more high quality. This one was just thrown together, and as you can see, one of the signatures is higher than the other. And but hey, it was my first one, and I love the paper. So again, thanks so much for watching. Any tips at all that you guys have to help me out with this spine would be much appreciated. I really want to get this fixed and, possibly give this to somebody as a gift then. Like I said, I don't feel comfortable selling this on my Etsy shop, but I don't just want to dispose of it. And, maybe I'll give it to my daughter. Not sure, but I definitely want to fix the spine. So any helpful tips on how I can fix that would be much appreciated. It feels pretty sturdy. As far as I don't feel that it's going to fall off in any way by the way that I have it made, but it did crack. It did crack, and I'm just worried that it's not the best. So in time, I'm pretty sure it's just going to fall apart. And the more somebody uses it and opens and closes it, definitely for sure, I know it's going to fall apart. So sorry for the chatty video. Again, thank you very much. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm hoping tomorrow I will have the post on my Traveler's Notebook from Mommy Lay all decorated and ready for February. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Bye everybody. Thank you.